Hey everyone, Dartron here. First of all, sorry for no videos, even though in my last kind of vlog thing I said that I would upload, but I've been kind of laid up in bed with the flu. Yeah, tell me about it. Perfect timing, eh? In fact, right this second, I'm just sat in my chair, covered with a snuggie, a Superman snuggie at that, and just recording this audio. The whatever's on the screen, I haven't decided yet. I'll record it later, whatever it is. um, First off, before anything, I do want to say those people asking about Digimobs, etc. Obviously, you don't understand what's been going on in my life recently, but they're not my highest priority. But I will try, as I keep saying. And you have to apologize for my voice right now. I'll try and edit out any coughs, etc. Um, what I want to talk to you about today is my dad. I know that's kind of weird, but I just want you all to get kind of a sense of who he was. I know I'm weird, but I feel this is something I have to do right now. Most people kind of say that their dad is the best dad ever. My dad would be the first person to deny that title completely, and it wasn't because he was a bad dad or anything. Like far from. He was a flawed person, like deeply flawed person. He made mistakes, which we won't get into any of them like specifically. But he was honest. Like he was always honest, and he was a fighter. Not just in the sense like physically, although he could throw a mean punch. Trust me on that one. He was the type of guy that wore his stains on his sleeve, if you know what I mean. If you don't know what I mean, basically, I suppose my dad's old motto kind of really summarizes that, which is if you don't like what you see, then walk away. Because that's the type of person he was. Like, if you didn't like him for who he was, then he had no place for you in his life, and that is something that he stressed to both me and my brother growing up. And to be fair, is probably the best piece of advice he ever gave me. Um, he was a workaholic. I mean, like, he worked all the hours under the sun when I was younger. Like we barely saw him, and it's not. Don't get me wrong, though. He wasn't like an absent father or anything like that. He just worked hard because he wanted to provide for his family, and there's nothing wrong with that. And to be fair, nowadays the amount of people that don't even like to work, we could do with more people like my dad in the workforce nowadays that would just treasure a job. He was the type of guy that if he didn't like you, he'd tell you. As bad as that sounds, but nearby everyone I knew respected him for that. In fact, the majority of people he told that he didn't like, they left, and slowly they fell into his good graces and they became friends. I like literally as outspoken as my father was. I can't think of a single person who had anything against him, and anyone that would wish him ill will or anything. It's kind of amazing, actually. And I just don't. I miss him. I really do. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. I'm trying to stay as you know. He was the person I would always go to for advice. Like if I had a problem, whether it was with something that you normally go to your dad with, like with like girl problems or learning how to shave. Although to be fair, he didn't actually teach me how to shave. He literally just gave me a razor and said, "Off you go, learn by doing," and that did not work out too well. Um, but I soon learned how to shave. I'll tell you that now. Um, that's the type of person he really was. He was learn by doing. He was a painter and decorator by trade, so he loved to work with his hands, like always doing something, always being physical. And in the later years of his life, he wasn't able to do that for medical reasons that, again, I won't go into. But that's how I like to remember him, which is the very physical guy. Like literally, we had our house painted that I used to live in when I was a child. That the house was painted like at least 3 times a year, just because my dad wanted to do something. I know it sounds nuts, doesn't it? Almost, but that's the way it was, and yeah. But he was a great person, and without my dad, I wouldn't be the person I am today. And again, he wasn't dad of the year. He wasn't the world's best dad, but he was my dad, and that was always enough for me. And I know I sound like really soppy, and I sound like I don't know. Like you're probably thinking, why are you telling us all this? I just wanted you all to get an idea of who he was, because you all subscribe to watch my videos and all that. My dad, even though he didn't understand computers, and let me put it this way, my dad was a biker when he was younger, so computers and all that not his forte whatsoever, and he never wanted me to be like him, which I always a lot of dads kind of do that. They want you to be a carbon copy of them. My dad never wanted that for me. He wanted me to be different. He wanted me to be myself. But even though he never understood what I did, he was my biggest supporter in doing YouTube. He always said, if that's what you love doing, then just do it, Dar. Just do it. And that's why I wanted to tell you all about him. Because, to be honest, if it wasn't for him, this channel probably wouldn't still be here, and half the content I've created wouldn't be here, and yeah. So I just felt like you all deserve to know a little bit about him. I want to thank you all for listening, and I'll make sure there's a proper video up tomorrow. But thanks for listening, everyone, and I'll catch you next time. Stay safe.